Okay, so you meet Flo Rida. He literally takes you to Miami, fly you air level Lambo, fly y'all all out to Miami.
Yeah.
Got you performing everything. So he signed you like it was paperwork done.
Yeah, so we was down there 30 days, man. But we were down there a lot longer than we had to be because we were unaware of how shit was supposed to go. Like the contract had been in my email for 25 days. So I had he already knew he wanted to sign me after 5 days of me being down there.
Wow.
But we weren't checking our emails. I'd never been to Miami before. I had never seen a palm tree in my life other than going to LA.
Man.
So we down there and I got anxiety like a motherfucker because I'm under so much pressure. You know, I still got 2 jobs. I worked at City Gear and Steelcraft. So I done took off work. I'm in Miami. They put us in 3 hotel rooms. You know, got sprinters pulling up. I'm going out with Flo every night, but we not talking. Like we having conversations, but it's not about business.
Right.
It's about women and music and drinking and
you having a ball.
The whole time I'm in the studio all day in a writing boot camp. I'm writing for other artists. I'm writing with other artists. I'm writing for myself. Freezy's coming in and out, giving me beats. They testing me, so they putting me in the blender at this time. You know what I mean? It was definitely it was the toughest, probably one of the hardest experiences I had. Like, as far as music, that was tough for me. But I didn't know the last 25 days we was down there, Flo and them was waiting on us. We thinking we waiting on him, and I already got the contract in my email.
Right.
No clue.
So at that time when you found out you had it, you was like, okay, bet, let me sign this. I'm ready to do it.
Yeah, well, I wanted it to be done right. I didn't just want to sign anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we did the due diligence. We went through a lawyer and we looked at everything. Yeah.
But you knew you wanted to sign with him, is what I'm saying. Did you know you wanted to sign with Flo at the time?
Nah, I didn't. I didn't go down there automatically thinking I was going to take the deal. Nah, hell no.
So what made you end up taking it?
Talking to him. He pulled me. The first time we actually really had a conversation, he told me how he used to be signed to Devontae Swing from Jodeci. And he told me how he lived in LA and how he came back to Miami and he ended up getting a deal with Po' Boy. And I think he actually also mentioned to me that the reference to Low was for Nelly, because Nelly had the apple bottom jeans. So the song was for Nelly, but it ended up coming to him and his trajectory changed, and he just shared all of this with me. And it had me sitting there looking at him like, okay. But he was trying to convince me to sign to him. Like, it wasn't like he was on some arrogant, like, oh, you better sign to me. It was more so like he really was trying to give me the game. And after that, I more so was locked into the relationship. So I signed simply because of the relationship. It wasn't even about the money. It wasn't even about percentages or none of that other stuff. It was solely because I'm like, okay, this guy, with this many accolades and money, sees something in me that I don't even see in myself. I didn't even see what Flo saw in me, honestly. I knew playing with the pussy was dope, but I didn't think I could continue to, you know what I'm saying, put those out at the rate that he
needed them.
That the world may have, you know what I'm saying? I just wasn't ready, but yeah, that's what made me do it.
So when you sign a Flo Rida and you get everything going, what was next after that process? Was it trying to find you a hit?
Hell nah, I went home. Because like we got down there and we were so eager and ignorant at the same time. Like me, nor Ed or Lambo kind of knew how it went. And we just made it really turbulent. Ed and Lambo had their thing, where, you know, Ed was coming on as my manager, but Lambo was the liaison between me and the label. And they liked the initiative that he took, so they were trying to award him more access in regards to my likeness than Ed. And Ed kind of would have had to take a back seat. And Lambo's kind of like, well, it ain't me. And then Ed's like, well, you can tell them no. And then I'm just kind of in the middle of it. And it just was a really, really difficult time for me, because now I feel all this pressure and this weight of trying to make sure everybody's comfortable, to the point where I was uncomfortable the entire time. So I just wanted to go home. So after I signed the deal, I came home, and he would send me beats every now and again. So I signed in March. I came home from March till May. So the rest of March, April, and the beginning of May, he just would send me beats and shit like that. And I was like always trying to hit my mark. So anytime he sent me a beat, I would go right to it, record to it, send it back. And after a while, I hadn't even smoked weed before ever in my life. I started smoking weed. You know, I had quit my jobs and things like that. And I had got an advance. And so I'm just kicking it. And I seen on TV that Floyd was fighting Andre Berto, I think. Yeah, and Flo was gonna be out there performing. And I looked at the gang, I was like, man, I can't sit on this porch no more. Like, we going to Vegas. I was like, we going to Vegas, it's on me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I booked everybody flights and rooms, and we all went to Vegas. And I literally found out what hotel Flo was staying in. I wasn't on no stalker shit. I just wanted to get out there and ingratiate myself.
But what was going on?
In whatever it is he may have had been doing, just to show him, like, man, I don't want to get signed and get sent back to the crib and you just sending me emails.
Like, that ain't it.
You know what I mean? I didn't know if that was it or if it wasn't. It's just like, I'm outside. We wasn't even saying that back then, but it's like, nah, I'm outside. Like, I'm going to work. I want to do whatever, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, I carry a bag. I goddamn whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Just shit, I make my own means. Just let me know where y'all going. I need to learn. I wanted the tutelage. I wanted to be a student. And how it happened was he got off the elevator as we were getting off the elevator at the Hard Rock Hotel. And it was had to have been God, because I might not have found him. Like, if you don't catch Flo in a moment like that, you can't get to Flo. Mm-hmm. There's no way I should have been able to see him like that, because you just cannot get to him. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't have been able to get through. Like, it's so hard to even get. Now I can.
It was God.
Now I can. Yeah. It's nothing. But back then, I didn't even have a direct line to him. And then everybody's trying to get to him. He's the #1 artist in the world right now. My house was #1 on Billboard, #1 artist in the world. Mm-hmm. So when he saw me, the way he embraced me was different than our conversation in Miami. I don't know if he was feeling good because he was in Vegas or what, but he saw me, he was like, "Nuk." And I'm like, "Oh shit, what up?" Like, you know what I mean? It was one of them. And he like, "Come on, I'm going to rehab." And Fetty Wap was on stage performing. Because, you know, Fetty Wap was killing it right now. So Fetty Wap was on stage. And soon as Fetty Wap got on stage, Flo went. And I took a leap of faith. I got up there on that stage. Flo was performing. I seen a mic right there on the thing. I grabbed it and just did a little whoop. And ain't nobody say nothing. I said, man, as soon as it's a song I know, I'm running out there. And it just took over me, bro. And I ran out there. And when I ran out there, he looked at me like, and we just went crazy. Like, and I stayed out there with him the rest of his set. Flo do like 40-minute sets. Yeah. So I stayed out there with him the rest of his set. We got girls on stage. We diving in the water. There's women grabbing us. I mean, it's pandemonium. And then he told Chronic to play Playing with the Pussy. Man, we blew the roof off rehab. I don't know. Everybody going crazy. We rocking. And after that show, he told whoever was around him, like, I want him with me every day. And that's how I ended up. So I wasn't supposed to be on tour with him. I wasn't supposed to be on the road with him. He had other artists that were signed before me that probably in their mind felt it should have been them on the road. You know what I mean? But I just happened to go out there to Vegas, you know, because I at the least bit, I wanted that experience. I knew that if I get out there and Flo out there, it's a Floyd fight. I'm going to see some women. I'm going to see some, you know what I'm saying? Something. I'm going to get out here and get something I know I ain't supposed to see. Right. Or I didn't think I deserved to see.
But you ended up turning into a whole situation where now
and
you
I was with
tour.
Him every day from that day.
So what was tour like, being on tour with Flo Rida? What was that like?
Fast. Super fast, bro. To the point where I had to, when I got off a tour with him, I had to adjust back to everyday regular life. Because when they say the fast life, it's really fast. Like, you don't know what, sometimes you wake up and you don't know if it's, you don't know if it's 12 hours this way or that way, because you changing country. Me and Flo went to China, we went to London. I performed in China, performed in London, performed in Mexico. I mean, we'd be in New York, we'd be in Miami, we'd be in Vegas, we'd be in Cali, then we'd be in Oregon and Texas. And I mean, it was crazy. It was super fast. I saw everything, the drugs, the women, the infidelity, the crime, I mean, you see it all. You know, the fights, the beef. I was really back there in the world that only the tabloids see. I see it. I know who dating who. I know who's sleeping with who. I know who beefing with who. I'm getting this. I'm T. So they say the T or whatever. Yeah. I mean,
you're getting the 411.
I'm getting the my bad. Exactly. I'm getting I had all the 411, dog. I'm there. I'm kicking it with actresses I grew up like obsessed with. You know what I mean? Singers that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm with all the supermodels and IG models at the time. Like, yeah, I did it all. I lived that life. I saw everything.
Man. Yeah. So with those experiences, while you were doing all of this tour and everything like that, were you able to still get to the point to where you was pushing yourself as an artist?
Nope. I wasn't. And I'm just keeping it real. Like, I became Flo's full-time hype man. And I wasn't even getting per diem. And I didn't even know what per diem was. But guess what? I was living. Flo treated me like an extension of himself. So I technically didn't need, not even technically, I didn't need per diem. I mean, I lived like Flo. I mean, Flo would tell his staff.
And for the people that don't know what that is, explain to them.
Per diem?
Yeah.
It's a certain amount of money you're supposed to get while you're on tour. You know, just for like personal things, you know, toiletries or just a bite to eat. Like, it's just something that you're supposed to get to hold you over. But most times when you're on tour, a lot of things are comp. The food's comp, the hotel's comp, travel's comp. You know what I mean? But I don't know, I'm gonna just keep it real. Like, when I had got my advance, I wasn't rich. So I don't have no other source of income coming in. And, you know, me and my friends made some investments that didn't really fall through. And then we spent money too. So half of the time I was on tour, I was barely, you know what I'm saying, making ends meet. You know what I'm saying? Phone would be off some days. Couldn't get my hair cut. Couldn't buy underwear and socks and afford a change of clothes because I done been on the road with you 6, 7, 8 months. And, you know, we didn't performed 100 times. You know what I mean? All my sneakers dirty, hats wounded. You know what I mean? Everything is pretty much tarnished. And I know in Flo's mind, it wasn't personal. It wasn't like he was trying to neglect me or something like that. He just got to be Flo Rida. And it was people who he had in position who responsibility it was to make sure that the artists and other people on tour had what it is they need. And though I'm with him every day, I'm like literally how I'm sitting right here, he would be right here. I didn't even think it was appropriate because everybody's watching him. Like, even if they're not talking to him, everybody's watching him.
So it's like, you can't even just have
I couldn't even talk to him about what I was lacking.
Yeah.
Nope. I would have to make sure I was, you know what I'm saying, with the same outfit on from 3-4 days. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I had never lived like that. Even before I got signed, I was always a responsible, healthy, like clean, you know what I'm saying, type of person. Like, I never was dirty until I was on tour. And I was dirty, musty some days. Like, it was bad. So I kind of started to kind of ask certain questions because I wanted to be able to get things without having to ask him. So that's why per diem would have been important for me because I was living like Flo. If he got $100 steak, I got $100 steak. If he got $100 haircut, I got it. Like, I mean, so I was, so to speak, but it was literally to the beat of his drum. So if he wasn't hungry, I wasn't eating. You know what I'm saying? If he wasn't, you know what I mean? But he was conditioning me. I see now I was being conditioned for that life and that speed and like having to be healthy and having to be like, you know what I mean? Like on a meal prep and different things like that. But he wasn't communicating that to me. So I didn't understand what was going on. I'm like, man, I'm starving. I don't know what time of day it is. You know, I'm thirsty. I'm sleepy. I'm dirty. This sucks. You know what I mean? Everybody at home think I'm rich. You know, I never had enemies ever in my life. I never had beef. I never had haters. I don't even think I was doing well enough to have haters before Flo signed me. All this stuff that came out the woodwork, so I felt really alone. My friends were back home wondering why they couldn't be on tour with me. I was getting this stigma created about me that I blew up and forgot where I came from, and none of that was true. Like, I just was doing what I thought was what I was supposed to do. And per diem ended up becoming a problem because one day I ended up getting real close with a lot of the dancers. And we would be mid-conversation because I would have to sneak away because Flo wanted me next to him 24/7. You know what I mean? Just so I can get the information and soak up the knowledge and get the full experience.
Like, what is I supposed to be getting for what I'm doing?
Yeah. But see, I was still really, really young at the time, and I wanted some, you know, in my mind, I wanted to be able to do young shit and still be an individual. Like, I didn't want to just follow him and Gorilla Zoe around all the time. So I would sneak away and duck off and be with the dancers, and they would, you know, they talking to me like getting per diem is normal. Like, they like, oh, we about to go grab our per diem. Our per diem, you ain't coming? And I'm like, what is that? And they like, you don't be getting our per diem? And I'm like, nah, what is that? And then when they came back, they showed me, and I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be getting this? So I went to Flo Road Manager.
Y'all owe damn.
Man, you hear me? And my attitude changed a little bit because it's like, man, I ain't had to be dirty all these dates, and I could have had toothpaste and, you know, detergent to wash my clothes and different things like that. I don't care if it was $40, $100, whatever that was in there. That was everything because he feeding me, housing me, travel's already taken care of, but my basic needs aren't being met. My phone shouldn't be off. I shouldn't be on America's Got Talent finale standing next to Nick Cannon and Flo, and I'm on national television and my phone is off.
So the whole time you on tour, you saying like you didn't know what was supposed to be given to you. You didn't know you're supposed to have a budget for certain things every day, and you said it kind of led you to like feeling some type of way.
It started to fuck with me mentally. physically, everything. But what I ended up finding out was I was never in the budget. So I was under the impression that I deserved certain things that was never even allocated towards me because I originally wasn't supposed to be on that tour. But in the moment, I don't understand that. Yeah. I just know everybody else is getting this and I'm the only one not getting it. They got some freedom and individuality and I'm having to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
be up under somebody.
Fight for scraps, you know what I'm saying? So I took it personal and it was never personal and it wasn't even Flo's fault. You know what I mean? I think maybe if, I don't know. I think maybe if I was a lot more patient, like I was really eager, and like just I don't know. I had a lot of people in my ear too, so I'm not trying to totally put the blame on Flo for why I ended up as uncomfortable as I did, but at the same time, I felt like my arm could have got put around me, and I could have been.
Like, just say, like, hey, this the person who you talk to.
Yeah.
To make
anything. Sure no, this is just how it goes. You know, like, you'll be all right. Something. You know what I mean? It was more so like, stop complaining, stop bitching. You know what I mean? More so like, that wouldn't get said to me, but it was more so like, look, you in China, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You on national TV. Like,
be happy.
You somewhere you probably never been if I ain't take you. So be grateful. You know, that was the energy I felt like I was getting. So it made it difficult for me to continue to fuck with them. So I left. I never got kicked off tour. I never got dropped. I never got shelved or nothing that people may think. I left on my own, like, because I just psychologically was tapped out. I'm 6'1". I'm 175 right now. On that tour, I was 145, dog. Like, I wasn't eating. Like, I was smoking crazy. Like, insomnia, anxiety. Like, you know what I mean? Just,
you was at your breaking point.
Yeah. But I just wasn't prepared to be signed and to be on a world tour to that magnitude. You know what I'm saying? And then just the pressure of just like family and friends. And like I said, the situation with Lambo and Ed, you know, it wore heavy on me, you know, because I wanted everybody to win and everybody to be happy. So that's how me and the Flo situation ended. He was hurt by the fact that I went AWOL. I'm not even talking about like had a conversation with him like I'm out. We went to Orlando. We performed at Universal Studios. I think the next flight was to Dubai. I got a flight back to Ohio. Yeah. And that's how, and I didn't see Flo for 3 years.
Damn.
After I had just disappeared. But I was signed to him for 2 years. So I had to try to figure out how to get out of that situation and ultimately ended up getting into my other situation.
So when you came home, what happened in that process when you came home?
Man, I came home to nothing, dog. Like, a lot of the people that had these opinions about my situation and was telling me what I should do and what I shouldn't allow and what I needed to fight for and to stand my ground and all of that, they weren't out there with me. They didn't see the things that I was really, really dealing with, but they was calling me from the crib with their issues and shit that they was handling, like needing me to solve. And it was just a lot. So when I came home, I actually thought the city or my friends or somebody was gonna have something for me. And it just wasn't like that. I came back home and it was more so like, now what? And then Flo got to calling everybody around me. Like, he really was adamant about amending, like making amends with me. And I was just the one like, nah. Like I said, I wasn't able to share with you everything that happened on that tour, but it was so much, man. Like, things that really make you a different person. You know what I'm saying? I went through it all. So it was traumatic. And so I didn't want to be his friend no more. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to nothing. Not because certain things he did to me. I just felt like if it happened on his watch, you know what I'm saying? You responsible. And now I know that necessarily wasn't the case. Like, so me and Flo, like, we done talked it out. He didn't actually say I'm sorry. He told me I was right about a couple of things, and that was good enough for me. And then I made it clear to him that, you know, I was ignorant and I should have been a lot more understanding of his situation and the place that I put him in, and we good to this day. Like, we still cool as fuck.